well. Here we are again, baby. Here we are again. Episode 23 come true with the boys. So y'all know how these work. I assume y'all know how these work. If at any point, guys, and I have to reiterate this every stream, at any point in this stream, if you hear me stuttering or tripping over my words, I've got a speech impediment. That's why I stutter, that's why these are chaotic, that's why these are just me rambling to no one in particular for an hour straight. So, what are we going to talk about, baby? What are we going to talk about? What are we going to talk about, guys? Honestly, I have no idea. Every time I have a plan here with one of these, and it just goes off the rails because I can't get the words out here because of the speech impediment. However, we're gonna try to get something done tonight. We're gonna try to get a little bit, just a little bit. I'm not sure what to talk to y'all about though. Excuse me. We could talk about mythology or history or the old tales, like let's say. There's just so many great stories out there, man. There's so many good tales that I would just love to tell y'all about. I would love to talk about them, like the Brothers Grimm, for example. The Brothers Grimm fairy tales are some of the best. A lot of the Disney stories we grew up on, they wrote, because a lot of the Disney classics we all love are usually a bunch of messed up fairy tales, chiefly written by Hans Christian Andersen and the Brothers Grimm. Now, there are other fairy tales, guys. There are other fairy tales. Like Charles Perrault with Little Red Riding Hood. And Jean-Baptiste Hippolyte with Sun, Moon, and Telia, or Sleeping Beauty. Also, I'm not sure who wrote the original Beauty and the Beast, but that's a good one as well. A lot of these classic tales we all love so much are already written. Basically, what I'm trying to say here, guys, is this. This is basically what I'm trying to say. So a lot of the Disney classics we all love so much are based on existing material, are based on existing fairy tales, and it's so good. It is so good. I love it. I got the books in my closet, which I will show y'all one day. I promise y'all. I will show you all these books. I will show you all these fairy tales. And it's so interesting, guys, because, like, let's take the original Rapunzel, for example. So, the original story of Rapunzel is very, very fascinating. Alright. Alright, guys, just give me a sec. Just give me a sec. Just give me a sec, guys. Just give me a sec, and I'll get back to it. Alright. Alright. It appears I'm gonna have to end this one and start again. Oh, God, why did y'all do this to me? Why did y'all do this to me? I don't understand it. Anyways, guys, I love you guys, and I'll be right back. Like, I'm trying to tell y'all about stuff I like, man. Like, I had no idea just going into this, man. Like, I don't know what to do, guys. Like, okay, whatever. I'm just gonna ignore the bots or the trolls or whatever. I really don't give a. I don't give a but I don't. I don't care. But but yeah, guys, let's get back here to talking about the crap. Sorry about the speech impediment, guys. I can't help that. But let's get back here to talking about these old stories, these ancient myths. Now, now a lot of the Disney classics we all love are based on existing material already. Like I said earlier, with Sleeping Beauty, Cinderella, Snow White, all these are based on existing material, chiefly by Jacob and Wilhelm Grimm, aka the Grimm brothers, who who published their collection of fairy tales in Germany, I believe in the 1800s. And the other significant one, at least that I know of, is Hans Christian Andersen, who wrote his Little Mermaid and other stories. Now, here's what's interesting about all this, guys. I love all these fairy tales. I love all these messed up myths. And if y'all want the actual history of these stories, if y'all if y'all want the actual history of these stories, I would highly recommend a channel called John Solo. John Solo basically covers all this messed up stuff, all the messed up myths we all love so much, or at least the myths I love, like sleeping or not. Why do I keep saying myth? I can't speak, guys. I'm sorry about the speech impediment. Why do I keep saying myths when I actually mean fairy tales? I don't know. Either way, go to his channel if y'all want to know more. I'll look his channel up right quick. I got the controller here, so I'll just look up his channel just right quick. So just let me do this right quick. Let me see if I can. Let me see if I can do this just right quick. There it is. There we go. John Solo. So that's JON space SOLO. Like all this stuff is very, very interesting, guys. I love it. I love the messed up myths and all that. I love these original fairy tales because it's just so fascinating. Like, guys, all these myths are just interesting to me. Like, I've got two collections in my closet. I've got like two collection of fairy tales in my closet. I've got the Brothers Grimm, a, a, a collection of which has over, I think, I want to say over 200 fairy tales, if I'm not mistaken. And Hans Christian Andersen has even more. Although, here's the thing, guys. Here's the thing. The Brothers Grimm collected these fairy tales, these old stories. They actually collected them. Hans Christian Andersen actually made up his fairy tales. His fairy tales were created, while Jacob and Wilhelm Grimm, or the or the Grimm brothers, excuse me, guys. So I'm sorry about that. While meanwhile, the Grimm brothers actually collected their fairy tales. These were actually called, and these original stories that were told over thousands upon thousands of years, guys. Okay, y'all know the telephone game, right? Y'all know the telephone game. It's basically where, let's say I tell you a story, and then you tell that person the same story, and then that person tells another person the same story. Over time, details will get muddled, and the original story will be lost to time. That's what's so interesting about these fairy tales, guys. The Brothers Grimm, or the Grimm brothers, the Grimm brothers collected all these tales all across Germany and collected them and wrote them in a book, in a fairy tale collection. Now, these stories were originally old wives' tales. Basically, these stories were were supposedly created were supposedly created by mothers to put their kids to sleep. Basically, bedtime stories. Now, I could be wrong about that, but I don't think I am. I don't think I am. I've done a little bit of research on that, and I don't think I am. But y'all can do your own research if you want, and y'all can kind of help me out in a way. But yeah, it's super super interesting, guys, because if that is indeed true, if that is indeed true, if that is indeed true, then these old wives' tales are messed up. Like, it's still hard for me to believe that they would tell their children this to put them to bed at night. It's insane, guys. It is just insane to me. Like, I love these old wives' tales. Like, I love these fairy tale collections. Okay, and in the collection I have, in the fairy tale collection that I have, the very first tale, the very first, the very first fairy tale in the Grimm Brothers book that I have, is The Princess and the Frog, or King Henry, which is a phenomenal story. I love it to death, guys. If y'all haven't read these original fairy tales, please do. Please do. Please go read the Brothers Grimm. Go read the Grimm Brothers collection, and please go read Hans Christian Andersen's books, because guys, these fairy tales are gonna take me a while to get through. Like, I've only read about 18, 20, 30 of the Grimm Brothers fairy tales, and they're so messed up, they're so twisted, and it's just so good. Like, there's so many books. Like, there's so many fairy tales, guys. I Okay, right off the top of my head, I can think of the frog. The, okay, no. Now I remember the. Now I remember some fairy tales off the top of my head. 1. The Frog King, or Iron Henry. 2. Rapunzel. 3. Snow White. 4. Let me see. What else I can think of? As far as the Grimm brothers go, oh, there's an extremely messed up tale. There's an extremely messed up fairy tale called Little Brother and Little Sister. It's so good, man. It is so good. I love that one. Although I would have to say the strangest one I've read personally in the Grimm brothers book is is the uh, is the donkey. Now, the donkey, I'm not going to spoil anything. I'm not going to give any details about the donkey. But that is a horrifying and just truly messed up fairy tale right there, man. That is just, oh, God, it's messed up. I love it to death, though. It's so good. Guys, I'm telling y'all, go look up a channel. Go look up a channel called John. So go 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 look up a channel called John Solo, please. Go look up that channel. That channel and and that man covers everything I'm talking about here. Also, the Brothers Grimm wrote a version of Little Red Riding Hood. Now, we all know the story of Little Red Riding Hood. However, the original story of Little Red Riding Hood, it was written by Charles Perrault in the 1700s, I think. I could be wrong about that though. So feel free to check if y'all want. So yeah, guys, a lot of these fairy tales were messed up, and I want to create my own. I want to write my own myths, legends, and fairy tales at one point. In fact, I am doing that. I'm doing just that. Here with the Dragon King and the world of Avaloria. Now, if y'all haven't heard me talk about the Dragon King or the world of Avaloria, just go watch the previous streams. This is episode 23. I've done 22 of these. And yeah, so if you want to know more about the Dragon King and the world of Avaloria, go check out the previous streams, or go check out the songs of Avaloria, of which are up on the channel. Go to my channel, guys, and just go through the videos list, and y'all will eventually find it. Y'all will eventually find six songs of Avaloria. Now, let me preface this by saying Avaloria is my attempt at what Tolkien did, because J.R.R. Tolkien wrote a mythology for England with these with the books I'm about to mention. The Hobbit, The Lord of the Rings, and especially the Silmarillion. Now, the Silmarillion covers the dawn of creation up until I think the Second Age. I could be wrong about that though. But yeah, guys, I want to do that because Tolkien felt England lost its stories, it lost its legends, it lost its fairy tales. He felt England had none left, so he gave them it back. He gave them their stories back in a way. Of which I love Tolkien's world. His entire collection of books is called the Legendarium. The Legendarium, it consists of all of Tolkien's works. Every book he ever wrote. Now, that's just what it's called. I'm not sure if there's an actual book by J.R.R. Tolkien called the Legendarium. But it's fascinating either way. I'll give it that. I give it that much. Because, I mean, Tolkien was just such a good writer. He was so vast, so good, and just so swift, and so detailed. It's insane how the man just wrote like that. He created his own languages, guys. J.R.R. Tolkien created his own languages, and it's so fascinating to me, guys. He created two languages I can think of off the top of my head. He created Elvish, and he created Quenya. Now, Quenya, I don't even know how to start speaking, because Quenya is such a complicated language, as is Elvish. Now, like I said, Tolkien was a master at writing. He was so good at writing. He gave so much detail. Now, guys, let me just get more of the promotional stuff out of the way just right quick. Y'all be getting this song every Monday, like I said in the past streams. The next song will be the seventh song of Avaloria. What's up, buddy? How you been? How you been, Johnny? How you been? But yeah, guys, the next song, it will be the seventh song of Avaloria, and might I add, it is a good one. So keep an eye out for that next Monday. So yeah, that'll be fun. And then yeah, here we got the White Knight coming, of which that'll be next year, guys, as well as August 8th. I'm still working on that. Also, I did write last night. I did get more fairy tales of Avaloria done. More precisely, I got done. I got more fairy tales of Eldoria done. Now, Eldoria is a realm, is a city. It's not a realm. Avaloria is the broader realm. Eldoria is a region or city within the broader world of Avaloria. Now, Eldoria is the city of elves and dragons, and I created more fairy tales last night. I basically wrote more fairy tales before the dragons were all gone. Before the Mad King, before Eldrick wiped them all out. And that's how Eldrick got the title of the Dragon King. He killed all the dragons. All but one. All except for Drayla. Now, Drayla is the last dragon. If y'all want more information on that, go listen to the third song of Avaloria titled Drayla, the Last Dragon. That's so good. Like, I'm hyped for everything I'm doing. I'm excited for a lot of it. And yeah. Also, guys, I know that this has been chaotic. Well, it hasn't been that chaotic. Yeah, that I mentioned it. But it's been good. And we've been going for 22 minutes. So we're just fine. But yeah, guys, it is very, very interesting just talking to y'all about my projects, about my stories, about my music, about everything. I love talking to y'all and interacting with y'all and everything. But yeah, let's get back to the let's get back. Dang it, I hate my nose. God. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. Anyways, let's get back to the fairy tales, shall we? Let's get back here to talking about the fairy tale collections of the Brothers Grimm, Hans Christian Andersen, and Jean-Baptiste Hibicil. Now, the original Sleeping Beauty, right? The original Sleeping Beauty is oh so messed up. It is very, very violent and very, very disgusting. Like Sun, Moon, and Talia is what it's called. And I'm not gonna tell y'all anything about the story here, because I can't retell it all that well. But I will give y'all a channel to go watch if y'all want to know more about this kind of stuff. Go watch John Solo. Go watch John Solo if y'all want to know more about it, and go watch his Messed Up Origins playlist. Because he covers a lot of that stuff. He covers a lot of those horror stories. Well, not horror stories, but fairy tales, and just how messed up they actually are. Like, these fairy tales are no joke, guys. Like the original Cinderella, oh dear lord. The original Cinderella is a messed up story. But it's a good story. Like, the Brothers Grimm knew what they were doing. And it is so fascinating to me, guys, because I love it. I love these old stories. I love these ancient stories. And if it wasn't clear at this point, guys, I just love stories in general. I love storytelling. I'm an avid reader and writer. Though I have nothing published yet, guys. I've got nothing published yet. And yeah, I mean, in it's just intriguing to me because because another genre I like surprisingly is horror. I'm into a lot of horror stuff. Like I genuinely like these horror stories like Edgar Allan Poe or H.P. Lovecraft or Stephen King. Although King was inspired by Stephen King was inspired by H.P. Lovecraft and Poe and a lot of their works, like the Cthulhu, the Cthulhu mythos, right? The Cthulhu the Cthulhu mythos is truly horrifying, and yeah, it gave me nightmares the first time I read it. Like, oh boy, Cthulhu is a monster. And one of the scariest things I've ever read, if for sure. Like, it's just very interesting, guys, you know? But yeah, bottom line is, guys, there's been a lot, and I mean a lot, of fairy tales I've read over the years. Like, like the Brothers Grimm, or like the Grimm brothers, Hans Christian Andersen. I need to get I need to get Charles Perrault's I need to get Charles A. Perrault's fairy tale a collection and read that. And then I need to get I believe it's called 1001 Nights. I believe it's called 1001 Nights a collection. Basically, I think it's like some tales from somewhere. I don't know where that a collection is from, but eventually I'll get that and read it and tell you all about it. But but yeah, guys, all this stuff is just I'm not sure how to explain it, guys. I'm not sure how to explain it. It's just interesting to me, and I genuinely like it. I like these old fairy tales. I like these old messed up stories. And because here's the funny thing, guys. A lot of these stories have Disney adapted, and I'm not talking about the horrible Disney live action remakes. No. I'm talking about the actual classic films. A lot of those films were sanitized because the original stories were just too messed up. Too just I don't have the words, guys. Like these fairy tales were so just oh dude. I wish I could pull out the I wish I could pull out these fairy tales and read you a few of them, but y'all probably wouldn't like that. Here, because of my speech impediment, I'd be stuttering my way through a few of the fairy tales. Now, there's a particular fairy tale I want to talk about just right quick, and the movie that inspired it, Frozen, of which God I hate that film. I hate Frozen to death. To me, it's one of the worst films that Disney ever made. I prefer Tangled over Frozen. I'll take that any day. Now, if for those of you who do not know, Tangled, it was Disney's, I believe, and I know I'm wrong about this. Hey, but I believe they marketed it. I believe they marketed. God, what's the word? Marketed it. Market it. Marketed. I don't know, guys. I don't know. But I believe Tangled. It was their it was their 50th animated film. I could be wrong about that. In fact, I probably am. But I prefer Tangled over Frozen. Now, for those of you that do not know, Tangled is obviously based off of Rapunzel. Now, that film is good. I legitimately like that film. That film came out in 2010. I legitimately liked it, and it's a good film. Frozen, however, is the bane of my existence. I do not like that film. I do not like Frozen. Frozen sucks. I hate that film. But the original story it was based off of is so good, and I believe it's probably one of the longest fairy tales I've ever read, coming in at 14 coming in at 14 pages. Now, the Snow Queen, right? That's the original story that that's the original story that Frozen was based off of. That's the original story that Frozen was based off of. He was the Snow Queen. It's such a good story, man. Like, like the Snow Queen is 14 pages, right? And it's such a good story. Like, okay, I don't remember the characters' names very well, but I believe he, the young boy, is is captivated by the Snow Queen's beauty, and she enchants him, or she captures him with her with her beauty, and it takes him to her palace, where she tells him, "You can spend a lifetime here with me if you spell this word. If you spell the word eternity." Now, a bunch of weird and trippy stuff happens here, guys. Um, Ice shards or mirror shards get lodged in the boy's eye and heart. Now, this causes the boy to be cold, to be distant. And his best friend, I believe her name is Goethe or something like that. I can't remember. At least not at the moment. But I believe by the time she saves him, I believe by the time she saves him and gets him back home, they're practically adults. By the time they get back home. So time passes clearly. Either way, it's such a good story. It is such a good story. Now, that's the longest fairy tale I think I've read by Hans Christian Andersen. Or just in general, I think that's the longest fairy tale I've read. So yeah, I mean personally I like the Grimm Brothers, a collection of fairy tales, more than Hans Christian Andersen's, but I digress. Anyways, let's keep talking about Hans Christian Andersen just for a second, guys. Just for a second, let's keep talking about Hans Christian Andersen's fairy tales. So, he wrote another fairy tale, one that made me cry. He wrote a fairy tale that made me cry. Hans Christian Andersen did, called His Little Match Girl. Okay, His Little Match Girl is a fairy tale. I believe it's 2 pages or a page and a half. I'm not sure. But it's basically this story about it's New Year's Eve. It's through. Okay, okay, it's okay. Thank you, kind sir. It's 3 pages, guys. It's 3 pages. So, this story is very, very sad, right? And it made me cry, dude, because this girl, he deserved a whole lot better. Long story short, it's New Year's Eve, and she's out selling matches. He tried to get money, but she can't sell a single match, sadly. And she goes and tries, and it's cold, it's winter. She's she's dressed clearly, but she clearly is still freezing to death. And it's sad, it's painful. So, what she does is she basically hunkers down in the corner and lights the matches. And every time she lights the matches, she sees images such as a good feast, a good Christmas feast, a Christmas tree, and I believe her grandma. And the story ends with her dying and freezing to death. And her grandma and her grandma in a angelic form comes to sweep her off her feet, and I think they go to heaven. I'm not for sure about that, guys. But if y'all want more information about all this stuff, go to a channel. Go to a channel called John Solo. Go to a channel. Dang it, I hate my speech impediment. Go to a channel called John Solo, and he will explain all the stuff I've been talking about for the past 37 minutes. He will explain all the stuff I'm talking about a lot better than I ever could. He's done research on a lot of this, guys, and I have too, but clearly not enough. Clearly, I haven't done enough research yet, but that's okay. Because I'm genuinely interested in all this stuff, guys, in all this stuff. But yeah, I mean, I love these fairy tales. I love these collections. So yeah, I mean, that was just me talking about fairy tales for what, like 37 minutes? Okay, now what do we talk about, guys? Now what do we talk about? I actually don't know, because I mean, those stories were very, very good. Like, I legitimately like all of those stories. Now, like I said, I haven't read Jean-Baptiste Hippolyte's work. I haven't read his collection of fairy tales. Nor have I read Charles Perrault's fairy tales. But it's just all very, very interesting, guys. But yeah, guys, just do me a favor and just keep an eye out on stuff. Like, keep an eye out for Monday, because y'all get a new song every Monday, and I'll keep y'all updated on the Dragon King, on the Road of Avaloria, on the White Knight, on Ogre's 8, and on Gunblade. All of these stories I'm writing, guys. All of these are stories that I'm currently writing. So just keep an eye out for that. And yeah. So yeah, I mean, now when it comes to the White Knight and Ogre's 8, both of those he will be released next year. The White Knight is coming in May of next year. Ogre's 8 will probably come in October of next year. Probably, I'm hoping it does. I'm hoping I'm able to get Ogre's 8 done by October. Probably will, but there's a chance I won't. So just be cautious of that, guys, because like I might be able to get it out. I might not. I don't know. But yeah, guys, that's the general plan. Hey, for like next year, just get Hit the White Knight done and get Ogre's 8 done. Now, Hit the White Knight is one chapter, 20 pages, 4 to 6 panels per page. It's the exact same format with Ogre's 8. One chapter. Crap, I'm drawing a blank here, guys. One chapter, 20 pages, 4 to 6 panels per page. So, yeah, those two are coming next year. And then immediately after I'm done here with those two, I'll get into the Samurai and Gunslinger. Now, the Samurai and Gunslinger is the greatest work I will ever publish. It is my Mona Lisa, if you would. It is my greatest work. It'll be my greatest accomplishment as far as writing goes. Because this story is gonna take me years and years to write. It'll be 14 books. Guys, it'll be 14 books. Now, I could go on and on and on about the Samurai and Gunslinger, but who really wants to hear me talk about that? And because, guys, I'm not going to go into too much detail until later this year, until the end of this year, of where I've basically promised y'all will have artwork of the Samurai and Gunslinger by the end of the year. And I do think I can keep that promise. I do think I can keep that promise of more, or of at least concept art of both of those characters, of David and Marie, of the Samurai and Gunslinger. I do think I can keep that promise. But yeah, guys. What else can we talk about? I've got all the promotional stuff out of the way. Like I said, dang it, I hate speech impediment. Like I said, I got all the promotional stuff out of the way. I talked a good, like, 38 minutes, I think, about fairy tales and about old and ancient stories. Now, one of the most influential stories, I think, that I've read is Dante Alighieri's Divine Comedy. Now, the Divine Comedy was written by Dante Alighieri in the 1300s. Now, this book, or this trilogy, if you would, Inferno, Purgatorio, and Paradiso, is Dante's journey from heaven to hell. Now, Dante in the book starts out in the woods where Virgil finds him. Where Virgil, a ancient poet, finds him and guides him through the nine circles of hell. Virgil guides Dante through the I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry about the speech impediment. God, I gotta stop saying that. I gotta stop. I've gotta stop, guys. I've gotta stop saying that because we're never gonna get through this if I continue like this. But we will. We will. He will go here for the usual hour. Either way. So, Virgil guides him through the 9 circles of hell. All the way from limbo. All the way to betrayal. Now, the 9 circles of hell, man, is some of the most gruesome stuff I've ever read. And then we get on to Purgatorio, where I believe Virgil leaves him and he has to go on his own from this point on. And then once he actually reaches paradise, he's greeted by Beatrice, his love, his love, his one true love, of which the history behind the Divine Comedy is just interesting in general to me. Like, I find it all very, very fascinating and just so well written. Now, I'll grant you this, guys. The Divine Comedy is an extremely hard trilogy to read. In fact, here's what I'm gonna do, guys. I have the first part in my closet. I have the Inferno in my closet, but right here, I have the next two parts. I have Paradiso, Heaven. I have Paradiso right here. Then I have Purgatorio as well. I've got Purgatorio here as well. Which, very, very good books, I might add. Very, very good books. This trilogy was just... It was a hard read, guys. It took me like months to read the entire trilogy. Now, there's something interesting about the Inferno in particular, or at least my copy of the Inferno. Like, I have all three books. Like I said, I just showed y'all Purgatorio and Paradiso. I have Inferno in my closet. Like I said. So, there's something interesting about my copy of the Inferno, though. It's on the left-handed pages. On the left side of the book, it's in Italian. On the right side of the book, it's in English. I really didn't notice that at first until about halfway through the book. I would say it took Dante. I would say by the time Dante was in the sixth circle of hell, I noticed it was in Italian. At least on the left side of the book. I noticed that and I was blown away by it. At first I thought it was in Latin, but I got that wrong apparently. But yeah, guys, I just found it very, very intriguing and very, very interesting, you know. I mean, I love reading and writing. Now, I have a copy of Beowulf in my closet. I haven't read it yet, though. I have not read Beowulf, although I know the story of Beowulf very, very well, despite me not reading it yet. Although I will read it because it's one of the oldest stories known to man. Now, I'm interested. Now, guys, I can't speak here, guys. Wow, I'm a dunce, but that's okay. It's all right. But yeah, guys, I'm interested in a lot of things. Like, if y'all go to my channel in description, if y'all leave the stream right now and go to my channel in description, or go to my channel and read the description, then if y'all go to my channel and read the channel description, it describes everything I'm about and what I like to talk about. And it basically, it's wordy, it is long, but it does cover everything I'm about. Okay, what's my favorite Marvel comic? At least that's an easier question than the question I got asked last night, the question I got asked last night was What's my favorite comic book? I cannot answer that question because there's too many. But I can probably answer that question right there. What's my favorite Marvel comic book? Um, I I gotta go with either, and granted, both of these are Spider-Man runs, but Spidey is my favorite superhero. Spidey is my favorite superhero, so I gotta go with Spidey. I gotta go with Spider-Man. I gotta go with Peter Parker. Now, what's my favorite Marvel comic book? That would either be The Death of Gwen Stacy in Ultimate Spider-Man number... I forget what number it is. Hey, but The Death of Gwen Stacy is a good read. Or it's Spider-Man No More. Hey, with the artwork by John... Hey, with artwork by John Romita John Romita Sr. Either... Okay, it's one of those two books. I think the art in Spider-Man No More is phenomenal. I love John Romita and John Romita Jr. But, but both of those guys have phenomenal artwork. I love comic books, guys. I love anime. I love manga. I love sequential art, of which is basically words, of which is basically like pictures and words. Like this is my favorite Batman run of all time, Hey the White Knight. This is a comic book, as opposed to this, of which is a manga. Now, this is not the same thing as what I just showed y'all, but they both God, but they both serve purposes, guys. They both serve different purposes and different functions. So my favorite my favorite Marvel comic book, it would have to be either The Death of Gwen Stacy or Spider-Man No More. Who's my favorite Spider-Man? Who's my favorite Spidey? Okay, I would either say Peter. I would either say Peter Parker, because duh, or Ben Reilly. Now, yes, guys, yes, I know the Clone Saga sucked, and it did suck. Let's be fair. Marvel's Spider-Man's Clone Saga sucked. I didn't like it. I did not like it. However, I did like Hey the Scarlet Spider. I did like the Scarlet Spider. I did like Ben Reilly. I thought Ben Reilly, he was a cool character and just very, very well done. But yeah, overall, guys, the Spider-Man Clone Saga sucked. Let's get that out of the way right now. But yeah, guys, we've talked a lot, and the stream's not coming to an end because we still got like 6 minutes, because we just hit 54 minutes on stream. But yeah, it's been fun, guys. It's been fun. So the question is now, what do I talk about to fill the time? Well, I would like... What comic books would I recommend? Okay, what comic books would I recommend? Okay, American or Japanese comic books? Because there is a distinction between comic books and manga. So can you give me that distinction right quick? Okay, give, I just give, I just give you, okay, 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 good. I'll give you some reading recommendations for comic books. N- Number one is this, obviously, because it's my favorite Batman run of all time, The White Knight. Although you might not want to start there here with Batman in particular. Also, you gotta keep in mind, you have to keep in mind, guys, if you're getting into comic books, what are you interested in? Marvel, DC, or independent comic books like Spawn and Hellboy? But yeah, okay, I'll give you 3 DC comic books and I'll give you 3 Marvel comic books. Okay, here with the DC comic books, I would recommend The Killing Joke by Alan Moore. It's it's a it's a bat God, I hate speech impediment. Hey for DC, I would recommend The Killing Joke. It's a Batman book by Alan Moore. It's a phenomenal book. I would recommend Superman's Whatever Happened to the Man of Tomorrow, and I would and I would and I would recommend uh okay, okay, so let me try to think of, okay, I would recommend Jeff Johns' Flash, hit the Flash run. I would for DC I would recommend Batman Hit the Killing Joke, Superman Whatever Happened to the Man of Tomorrow, and DC's Rebirth, Jeff Johns' Flash run. For Marvel now, if for Marvel, I would recommend Frank Miller's Man Here Without Fear Daredevil run. I would recommend The Death of Gwen Stacy, because like I said, that's just a good book. And I would recommend this one would be hard to find, but it's so worth it, guys. It's so worth it. I would recommend the the first appearance of Captain America, of which I'm not sure about that one, guys. Actually no, scratch that. Not the first appearance of Captain America. I would recommend like hey for that third Marvel book. I'm not actually sure. Ah, crap. Let me think here. Well, what would be a good Marvel book here to recommend? Uh, I mean, I know a lot of good Spider-Man runs, but that's because I'm biased, man. I like Spidey. But, but, but I'm trying to give you, I'm trying to give you 6 books. 3 from Marvel, 3 from DC. And I'm trying to give you a different hero each time. So, if for the third Marvel book, I would recommend Thor and the God Thor. I would recommend Thor's storyline with Gore his God Butcher. I would recommend Gore his God Butcher Thor, and because that story has Thor basically fight the God Killer, of which Gore is a very fascinating character when it comes to comic books and all that. Like, Gore apparently kills every Marvel god, well, every god, like Greek, Egyptian, all that, he kills all the gods. And Thor has to go and take him out, which I find very, very interesting and very, very intriguing. Like, it's so interesting to me, guys. I love comic books. I'm sorry that I wasn't able here to give you, like, what's a good Captain America comic? Off the top of my head, I have to go with the Civil War comic, of which has like Captain America team with a bunch of Marvel superheroes against other superheroes. Like, plus I think no, that's in Secret Wars I'm thinking of, not the Civil War comics. Also, guys, I know I've said this time and time again. I'm so sorry about the speech impediment. My dear viewer, it's you the one I'm trying to recommend books to. You probably can't understand me because of the speech impediment, but hopefully that's okay. But yeah, what good Captain America book would I recommend? That's a good start. That's a good start. That's a very good start. Yeah, but I would I would also like just recommend, like, okay, let me ask you this. Who are your favorite heroes? Who are your favorite heroes? Like in Marvel and DC, who are your favorite heroes? Now just give me one from Marvel and give me one from DC, and I can try to help you out. Like if you're into, like, let's say like Superman and Spider-Man, I can recommend you a bunch of runs. Captain America and Batman. Okay, let's start here with Batman because I know more Batman comics than I do Captain America comics, sadly. But okay, Batman, I would, I would clearly off the rip, I would recommend I would, I would, I would recommend right off the rip with Batman. I would recommend like I said, The Killing Joke. Hey with hey with hey with crap with Alan Moore, and with Captain America. I wish he you see, because I've read a ton of comics, guys, but I haven't read that many Captain America comics, of which I will fix it because I feel like a fool now. I feel like an utter fool for not remembering any good Captain America runs, even though I know they're there. I know some amazing Captain America runs. I just can't name them off the top of my head. Like the first ever Captain America book is good, but I'm not sure if you can find it or not. Like, okay, like, I don't know, guys. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, those three from Marvel and those three from DC, I would, I would, I would recommend. So, Batman, Alan Moore's Killing Joke, Superman, Whatever Happened to the Man of Tomorrow, and Jeff Johns' DC's Rebirth Flash run. And then for Marvel, I believe I said Spider-Man No More, or the Death of Gwen Stacy, and Frank Miller's Frank Miller's Daredevil run, He's the Man Here Without Fear. And number 3, I believe I said Thor versus Gore hit the God Killer or the God Butcher. That's a phenomenal comic as well. Yeah, I mean, Sam Wilson is the new Captain America, of which I'm okay with. I mean, both Bucky Barnes and Sam have been Captain America in the past, but man, I'm just a good old classic boy, dude. I like Steve Rogers as Captain America, plain and simple. But yeah, guys, I think that'll do it, guys. I think that'll do it. We've hit the we've hit the hour mark, and yeah, okay. So yeah, guys, I think that'll do it, guys. I think that'll do it. So so thank you guys for tuning in. And for those of you who tuned in live, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Turn on post notifications. Turn on all post notifications. So that way you will never miss a song or a stream. And remember, guys, y'all get a new song every Monday. And yeah. And with that, guys, just make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Turn on post notifications. Turn on all post notifications. It's that we never miss another video. And with that, guys, I am Audi. I love you guys, and